Hey, it's Aaron. Today I'm with the 2021 Volkswagen Atlas. This is the full size. You may remember I did an Atlas Sport review. That's a different sized vehicle. This has 3 rows, the other one does not. That's the major difference. But the Atlas has seen restyling this year. So for 2021, there's a new front fascia. You can see the grille is slightly different. It's a little more pronounced with thicker middle, whatever these are called, going across and stuff. And just a more SUV look about it. So it was already large. Now it's making sure that you know that. And it's a good look for this particular vehicle. There's also some changes on the back end and a couple of little things that changed throughout. But the Atlas is a 3-row family vehicle. So the 3rd row is actually usable. It's not just only for the kids or whatever. It's a good 3rd row. And the overall size of the vehicle is bigger than you expect. So let's look it over. Under the hood of the Atlas, you have 2 different engine options. The engine that's under here right now is a 235 horsepower 4-cylinder. That is a pretty good match, actually. It's turbocharged. The turbo doesn't take forever to bring up any power, so it starts in pretty early with that power, and it runs really smoothly. This is a good match for this particular vehicle. Then there's a 6-cylinder option. 6-cylinder option is 276, I believe, is the number of horsepower, and it's a smooth 6. I've driven it in other Atlas vehicles in the past. It's a nice smooth curve of power, just like a V6, but honestly, I think this 2-liter 4 is better, or 2-liter turbo 4. This turbo 4 is better, simply because you just get the power faster. So it's just a better match for this. I don't think I would bother with the engine upgrade. Now, to get that upgrade is a little bit confusing. There are, like, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6, something like that, packages for the Atlas, and you can only get V6 in certain ones of those. So to kind of break that down, let me remember the names, the SE with technology, or SEL, the first 3 packages, the first 3 trim levels, they have this 4-cylinder. After that, the next, I believe it's 3 more, those have the V6. So what I'll do is I'll just put it on the screen what the packages are, because off the top of my head, I'm never going to remember these package names. It's all the usual kind of stuff. I mean, at least it's not Ford with like 4AB, XY, 77 or whatever. At least, it's like SSE or whatever. But anyway, you get the idea. And I'll put the actual packages that have 4 and 6 cylinders up on the screen. So that's that. Let's look at it from the side, get a good idea of the proportions of the vehicle. Then we'll look at the work again. Then we'll get inside of it. So from the side here, you can see that Volkswagen did a lot with the lines on this vehicle. So you can see it kind of comes around. I'll walk into the picture, you get some perspective. So you can see how this moves around like this and flows along. That's a really cool design detail. It's something rarely seen, where not only does it run front to back, which is pretty common, but it runs with curves. So it curves here to accentuate the fender, and it makes this more of a cliff face, but this itself has this running along. It creates kind of a bullet end right here, and then it runs along here, and that creates a light shelf right here. So it's really cool the way it works. And then this line here isn't just a crease, it also dips in before it comes back out again for roundness, and that creates again another light shelf. So you have a little bit of shade right here, and that creates a change in the light. It's really nice play on how light works on a vehicle, and how lines can create all kinds of movement and things. So this line runs like this, and then comes here, and then straightens out to go across the bodywork. You can see there, and then there's another line up here that started from the bottom of this bullet head and runs across, and that creates this little belt line up here. So you have this wide spot right here, and then this, because it dips down, creates again a light change, right? So you have this line and the belt line running in parallel like that, and then this comes up again to create this rear haunch, to create the fender back here, while this continues steady on all the way to the back. But it doesn't just stop. It comes back here, makes another bullet head and curves up, and it becomes a continuous line, a continuous circle almost, kind of an ellipse running across like this. So there's a little bit of a thing right here, and it just runs across like this and comes down, and then this sort of meets up here visually, and it creates a continuous. It's a really cool look. I really love these lines. I love that they're curved. I love that because it's so unusual, and it's such a really it's a strong and yet refined look. It's a really, really smart design. I really like it. The wheels on this are pretty okay. They are pretty large. There are several packages that come with different sizes, but these are, I believe, 20s. Yeah, these are 20-inch wheels, and I don't think I would go bigger than that. I think if you go bigger than that, you're going to really start impeding on the ride quality. It's already pretty good. It's got a good ride quality, but when you make those wheels bigger in any vehicle, the ride quality suffers because of it. So, and then this happens to have pretty nice Pirellis on it. So, and this isn't even a top-end package. This is like somewhere in the middle. I think this is the SEL. So, wonderful, wonderful look. I really like the way they did this. I'm not hugely fond of this color. I think I would want a different color, but I really like the light play and the way the lines work. The light play may not be as good on camera because the sun is right there coming straight down, but I'm hoping you can see some of that. It's really nice. Let's look at the working end in the back and then talk about the 3 rows of seating in there. So looking at the back, you can see that the curvature that was happening up there doesn't happen here. It's a little more flat. This is rounded slightly and then it flattens out. That mimics the front a little more. Also, the changes that were made this year as far as the design in the back, this is a little bit different. It's not as pronounced as it was before. And then the bottom bumper is a little bit different. And then you can see the dual exhaust on this, even though only one of them is actually functional. Just gives it a little more, I don't know, robustness. I don't know what the word is for that. But opening, again, one of the few Volkswagens that opens with a button. Most of the SUVs don't tilt the little logo, which is kind of dumb. I think that's a Volkswagen thing and it should stay. Large cargo space, so I can't even reach the seats up there with that 3rd row down. Very large cargo space. I fit a lot of stuff in here to take it and get rid of it. And under here, you have a spare tire spot. This in particular, the spare tire is actually underneath a cover, but you have the screw top for the cover there, jack and everything else is in there. You could get a couple of things in here if you need to. This also acts as a cargo holder, so a separator, so you can like wing it in here, and a couple of other things just to make life a little easier when you're using it. Now for the 3rd row, I'm just going to pull one of them up. There you go. And then there's the headrest. So it's one of those, I like to call these the Drone Wars, right? Looks like the Star Wars robot from the Drone Wars. Anyway, that's what this headrest looks like. So now you can see there's a lot less cargo space, but it's still pretty good. And these seats tilt and recline. I can do it from here with the strap, but when you're in the seat, you can also do it from a lever on the side. So that's pretty cool. Now let's get in it. I'll show you what the 3rd row is like for me as 6'3", plus the middle row and then the front. So the first thing we have to do is get into the 3rd row. That's where this comes into play. So you can see you grab that handle on top of the seat and the whole thing goes forward. Hopefully you can see well enough what I look like in here. So I'm 6'3". I have a little bit of leg room because this seat is moved forward slightly. It does have a little movement to come back. It would hit me right about here if it were all the way back. But the 3rd row is actually usable. Seats 2 has full seat belts, drink holders over here, all that good stuff. So it's comfortable enough that you could put adults back here. I wouldn't put them back here for a long road trip. Your butt's gonna get sore because your legs are not even, right? The seats need to be higher for that, right? But this is a usable 3rd row, which is pretty unusual in this segment. Now let's look at that 2nd row, and then we'll talk about the front end. So here in the 2nd row, you can see that I have a lot of leg room, even though this is set for me at 6'3" up there. I also have a lot of headroom. I had pretty good headroom in the third row, really good headroom here, and just overall, this is a pleasant experience. The seat's 3 across. You could get 3 across. This is a wide vehicle, so I do like that. I do like just the whole setup. So Volkswagen, they don't make the prettiest vehicles, but they make extremely functional vehicles, and that's a good thing. So up here in the front, the driver's seat is very comfortable. Passenger seat is the same, and I like the controls layout. So it's pretty simple. It's very straightforward. It has a huge, nicely sized and usable touchscreen over here that's easily within reach. It has just a nice kind of simple layout. Volkswagen is always very austere on their interiors. They've upscaled a little bit now. There's some faux wood inlay and a few other things going on to create a little better interior experience, and I give them a lot of credit for that. Now, this does not have a virtual gauge cluster, which is kind of the thing now. These are still hard gauges, but honestly, I don't really care one way or the other. The virtual screens are easier to see, but I have yet to have any glare on this one too. So nicely set up and smart. All right, so there you go. That's the 2021 Volkswagen Atlas. This in particular is the SE with technology. So base price for the Atlas is about $33,000. This with everything in it, so the SE package plus the technology package, which is right about the middle of the lineup for this vehicle, it's a little over $40,000 with delivery. So $40,000, huge SUV. It's one of the better deals on the market right now. So wonderful, wonderful design, and just a nice vehicle. Volkswagen just really hit the button here. So great job. I think that's it. I'm kind of stumbling, trying to figure out how I'm supposed to wrap this up, because I'm supposed to have production values and have like I'm supposed to give you a hook in the beginning. I don't think I did that, and then I was supposed to like wrap it up. These are the rules of YouTube's. So all right, that's what I got. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.